The village sat buried under snow for most of the year, a forgotten place where winter didn't come and go, it stayed. The temperature never climbed above zero, not even in daylight. The wind howled like a living thing, cutting through walls, skin, and hope alike. In this village, survival was a daily battle, especially for the old. Marta had lived there all her life. Her back was bent from years of chopping wood and carrying water, her fingers stiff from arthritis made worse by the cold. Every morning she woke before dawn, wrapped herself in layers of patched wool, and fed her small iron stove with the last pieces of firewood she could spare. The cold never fully left her bones. It slept there, waiting. That night was colder than usual. Snow fell sideways, driven by a vicious wind that rattled doors and windows like fists demanding entry. Most villagers stayed locked inside, afraid even to peek outside. Marta was just about to climb into bed when she heard it, a sound so faint she almost thought it was the wind. A cry. She froze, her heart pounded. No one wandered outside at night in winter. Anyone who did usually didn't return. The cry came again, weak, desperate. Marta pulled on her boots, ignoring the pain in her knees. She wrapped a scarf around her head and opened the door. The cold slammed into her like a wall. Her breath turned white instantly, her lashes crusted with frost. She followed the sound toward the edge of the village, each step sinking into deep snow. There, near a broken fence, she saw him. A small black boy, no older than 5, curled into himself like a wounded animal. His coat was thin, torn at the sleeve. His shoes were soaked through, his lips blue. Snow had begun to cover his hair. He wasn't crying anymore. He was too cold. "Oh, child," Marta whispered, dropping to her knees. The snow burned her skin, but she didn't care. She touched his cheek, ice cold. He was still breathing. Without thinking, she took off her own coat, the warmest thing she owned, and wrapped him around him. She lifted him into her arms. He was terrifyingly light. Every step back felt heavier than the last. Her lungs screamed, her legs shook, but she refused to stop. Not now, not when this child's life rested against her chest. When she finally reached her cabin, Marta collapsed inside and slammed the door shut. She laid the boy near the stove, feeding it wood she had planned to save for the rest of the week. She rubbed his hands, his feet, whispering words of comfort he might not even hear. Slowly, painfully, warmth returned. The boy's eyes fluttered open. Dark, frightened eyes stared up at her. "You're safe," Marta said softly. "You're safe now." He didn't speak. He only reached out and grabbed her hand, holding it with surprising strength. That night, Marta gave him half her soup, wrapped him in her only blanket, and slept sitting upright beside him, afraid he might stop breathing if she closed her eyes. The village whispered the next day. Some said the child must have been abandoned. Others said he was a burden no one could afford in a place where even adults struggled to survive. A few warned Marta she was risking her own life. She listened, then she ignored them. Winter dragged on, weeks passed, food grew scarce, firewood ran low. Marta grew thinner, weaker, but the boy, she learned his name was Isaiah, grew stronger. His laugh returned first, bright and surprising in a place used to silence. Then his appetite, then his smile. Marta taught him how to warm his hands over the stove, how to listen to the wind and know when a storm was coming. Isaiah helped Marta gather kindling, his small hands clumsy but eager. At night, when the cold pressed against the walls, Isaiah would crawl close to her and whisper, "You won't leave me, right?" Marta would kiss his forehead and say, "Never." When spring finally came, late, reluctant, and muddy, the village changed. Outsiders arrived, searching for a missing child reported months earlier. When they found Isaiah alive, healthy, and laughing, they wept.
They asked Marta why she did it, why she risked everything in a winter that kills without mercy. Marta looked down at Isaiah, then back at them. Because the cold already takes enough, it doesn't get to take our hearts too. And in a village where winter ruled, that simple act of kindness became the warmest thing anyone had ever known.